Hello and welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. As usual, we're going to start off with some TA, but before we do that, quick update on BrickX. Currently, we are completely revamping the website. It just came from the marketing team. This should be completed in 1 week, hopefully. We're creating some one-pagers and getting everything set up to actually begin with the paid marketing campaign. And hopefully next week or the week after we can start this, we will start growing the community, and I'm really excited about that. So that's for now. For BrickX, as usual, if you have any questions, please put them in the YouTube comment box where I can see them. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Gonna start off with Bitcoin as usual on the Bitstamp chart. There's a couple of things I would like to discuss with you before we actually get into the shorter term. For the ones that have seen my Wyckoff accumulation video a while ago, just going to grab the Wyckoff accumulation pattern. 1 second, here we go. This is a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. You can see that it starts off with a low, then we go back by an automatic reflex or automatic rally. Blah, blah, blah. I've explained this in the previous video, which I will link shortly after the stream. Now, I think we are close to actually completing that. As you can see, we have the spring on the right in phase C. This one goes lower than all the previous lows. We have the same thing happening here, and we are very, very close to actually completing this inverted head and shoulders. Now, enough for the Wyckoff analysis. I will post a link in the description shortly after I'm finished here. We just broke out of the wedge that has been going on since February. This was a symmetric triangle, which I really hoped would break out top side, which it didn't. We broke out on the bottom side. And I think this is where a lot of people started stacking shorts. Now, we made a descending wedge. And currently we have broken out of this descending wedge, which means that we are ready for a retest of the symmetric triangle. This is the symmetric triangle. When you break out of a certain side, 9 out of 10 times you will see that the price actually revisits the broken support before it goes down further. Although I'm not quite sure if we're going to go down any further. So what our play is going to be here, I'm just going to the 1-day chart. This is the inverted head and shoulders. I am 99% sure this will actually complete within the next, 3 to 4 days, hopefully sooner. And this should push us back up to the broken support, which is currently sitting at 7,300 USD. Now, the way I made this target right here is as follows. I took the Fibonacci retracement. So this is the Fibonacci retracement. I pulled it all the way over this move. Hold on a second, I'm doing it wrong. And I am aiming for the 618. 618 is the most important Fibonacci level, which after a breakout is almost always visited again. So for now, we broke out of the descending wedge. Maybe I should color code this. I'm just going to paint the wedge orange because it's a giant mess right now. And I will paint the wedge red. And we're going to go back to support, which is currently sitting at 7,300. For psychological reasons, I am putting my personal target to close my long at 7,000. So that would be right here. Just going to mark this in black. Because I don't know if Bitcoin is actually going to have the strength to push up all the way to this level. If it does, personally, I believe that we could have completed the Wyckoff and we can go back to 11,500. But if this is the case, I will cover it in a next live stream because right now it's not really relevant. What is relevant is our long, which we started at 5,900. You can look it up in my personal channel on my Discord. And we will actually retain this long until 7,000, giving us a big bucket of profit. Now, if you still have no position at this point, I recommend waiting until we break the neckline, and then you can actually do a quick scalp up until 7,000. If you're a little bit more brave, if you like some risk, you can put your stop loss below the 786, which is currently sitting at around 6,600. And then you can put your target at 7,300, making this a better risk to reward ratio trade. But of course, also, this will have a little bit more risk of going wrong than just setting the target at 7,000 if we break out. If you don't have a position right now, I do not recommend longing at this point right here. We did not break the neckline yet, and it is, of course, still very possible that we're just going to dump from here, and we're going to have to revisit these lows. Now, do we have any questions for now about Bitcoin? Quick analysis, but most of this is actually in the Discord channel, so it shouldn't be too difficult to follow. Okay, so I'm going to assume there's no questions, which will bring us to Ethereum paired against USD. And I think we are still in the log scale. Let me remove this. Very nice. So here we have Ethereum paired against USD. As I've said in my previous streams, the most important level for Ethereum is currently sitting between 360 and 400. This is where we made some significant tops, but also very significant bottoms. I do not expect this level to be broken this year or next year or maybe ever again. I think this level will hold perfectly, and if you buy close to this level, that you should be absolutely fine. The reason being that below this level, the next real support is actually sitting at 235. Or actually, I should say 215. Things would have to go pretty bad if Ethereum is going to $215. I do not see this happening at this point. Basically, if we go there, everyone will panic buy and panic sell. It will be one big chaos. And I don't think this will happen personally. However, if we do break this support, I would get out of my position personally. I've actually got a position right here, which I bought in March or April. I still have it, didn't sell because I don't think we're going any lower than that. Now, for the shorter term, I would like to go to the log scale. Reason being that we have a clear resistance on the log scale, which we can use to make our trade. Now, as you can see, we had a failed attempt on breakout a couple days ago, about a week ago. I went back into the channel, but then we broke out anyway. If we break this high right here, 495, 500, then I personally assume it's a good time to start a trade. Then we're going to take our Fibonacci retracement, look for the 618, currently sitting at 672, and we're going to take our long position tool, start it here, and this will show us that if we do break this level, this will actually be a pretty good trade with a risk reward ratio of 5.4. This is like one of the better trades that will be happening the coming weeks. Of course, that only counts if it actually happens. This doesn't necessarily have to happen. We could also revisit this support, at which point I will also be buying more Ethereum. Let me check for some questions. Nothing at this moment. That's great. So for the Ethereum, we're just going to have to play the waiting game. I will keep an eye on this. And as soon as we do get a decent position, I will actually take it and put it in the group. Now there's something I'm like super excited about, EOS. As you can see, let me just fix this real quick. EOS actually broke through the support that I drew last time, so I'm just going to remove it. My personal buying range is sitting between $4 and let's say 5.5. Reason being, you know, this was sitting at $0.50 at the end of last year. Then it mooned very, very fast, very hard. You know, in 3 months, we gained about 70 or 3,700%. And then it went up even more, pushing it to 4,400 or 4,500%. This is, you know, a pretty big pump. So I'm expecting some more retracement. Obviously, I could be wrong. But at this point, I think it is quite dangerous to buy EOS. So I'm just going to wait unless we do break resistance, which I have marked here in red. If we break this resistance right here, then I might possibly consider to buy. But, you know, the potential reward right now, if we would take this trade right now, would be sitting at 1.28, which is really bad. And I think it could be pushed down even lower. You know, if we're going to aim for the resistance and our stop should be at our buy point, then, you know, this is like one of the worst trades ever. Even if you put the stop just below the previous low, it still doesn't make a very good risk reward ratio. So that's the reason I'm not taking any EOS trades right now. You know, we took our profits. We bought basically at $1.30 and we sold at $21. So I think this was one of the most perfect trades ever made. And there's no reason to, you know, try and do that again for now. So yeah. By the way, if you have any coin requests, feel free to put them in the YouTube comment box. And to answer your question, Brandon, yes, the Wyckoff is still in play. Actually, it is playing out right now as we speak. I covered this in the beginning of the live stream, and you can just check it out. Personally, I like to trade on Binance a lot more than BitMEX. The only reason I use BitMEX is because we are in a bear market, and you know it's nice to short. But other than that, I prefer Binance for a lot of reasons. Let's see. Next, I'd like to take a quick look at NEO. The requests will be done, by the way. Don't worry about it. Oh, actually, I see a lot of requests for Ven. Let's do this one first. Let us go to CoinMarketCap, and there's something I have to explain about VeChain. Currently sitting at a market cap of 1 billion and started out at a market cap of 66 million not so long ago. The thing here about VeChain is as follows. This thing pumped 4,000% in 1.5 months. This is not something that is normal. Okay, this happens on more coins, obviously, absolutely. But when this happens, you're gonna see these kinds of things. So let's go to Stratus. Also happened here, massive dump. Okay, let's go to Neo. Also happened on Neo. Shortly after, massive dump. Let us go to EOS, Bitfinex, massive pump, and now probably a massive dump. Same is actually going to happen for VeChain. There we go. We mooned 4,000%, and now we're gonna need a massive dump. And I'll tell you where this big dump is probably going. There we go. Oh. I'd say it's going to the 786, considering we already broke the 618. So expect some big panic selling over the coming next days, maybe 2 weeks. However, the RSI is being pushed to oversold rather quickly. And I think once we do reach this level, which is 19,000 Satoshis, this would make for an awesome risk reward. And I'm just going to do an assumption that we actually get there. Going to draw a new Fibonacci line. And we can put our target at the 618. We can take our long tool. If we open our position here, we can put our target at the 618, and we can put our stop just below the 618 that I've drawn out over here, or the 786, I should say. Giving this a risk reward ratio of 16, or actually 18, which is absolutely amazing. This will be a very, very great trade. Which I will most certainly take. You know, we can potentially go up 121%, maybe lose 7% in the worst case scenario. So personally, I will be entering this trade. I think it will take like maybe 1 or 2 more weeks to get to these levels. And then we're just going to buy it. And this will make us a nice stack of money. Do I think the coins from the Coinbase list are going to pump? Yes, I do. But there's like a lot of things that can go wrong. Like, for example, Coinbase announces they are not going to list the coin after all, or whatever, you know. So although this is something that potentially can have a very good risk to reward ratio, it is not something that I would buy for this reason. That being said, I think especially ZRX is going to moon in the coming weeks, potentially to the target of 30,000 Satoshis. For the reason that I will show you right here. If we go to the website and we go to, let's see, it should be somewhere here. About here. Advisors, I believe. Yes, here. Advisors. Fred Ashram, co-founder of Coinbase, previously FX trader at Goldman Sachs. Olaf, first hire at Coinbase. So these guys have possibly the best connection you can have to Coinbase. Therefore, Coinbase is actually going to list ZRX. This will not be a surprise to me. And ZRX will pump to like a market cap of 1 billion at least, I assume. So ZRX is definitely something that you should have in your portfolio. As soon as it gets listed, just dump it, sell the news, and quite likely you will make a big stack. What about the rest of us that have held VeChain worth selling at this moment to buy back cheaper? No, if you've held, then probably you are too late. No point in selling after such a big dump. Just wait for the relief rally, and if you want to dump then, that's better. This is not financial advice. That's just something I would personally do. Next request, IOTA. IOTA is something I personally do not have a whole bunch of faith in. Let's see which is the longest history. This is one of those weird coins, kind of like Ripple, everybody knows about it, and at one point it will probably pump, but from the chart, there's not a lot to be read. Even if we remove the log scale, there's not a lot of info that this chart will give us, other than that it is wise to swing trade this. So buy at this range, sell at the range of 26,000, something like that. The indicators are just being stable. There's nothing special about the volume. So, there's not much I can say about this at this very moment. What are the 5 biggest bags you own in your portfolio? My 5 biggest bags, not in the correct order, are Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, Trade Token, Trade.io, and at this moment, I don't really have a 5th biggest bag because, I've got that split across nulls, Luxcoin. So, I have like 12 coins that I prefer to hold, but the most important are Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, and especially Trade Token. I think this will go 100x over the next year, and NOS. Let's see. Would you sell ICX now? Well, no. Reason being, Lux is something that will probably go 100x, but it could do so tomorrow, or it could do so in 1 year. So if you're using that money to actively trade, then I would suggest don't do it. If you can actually miss the money for a year, maybe 2 years, then it's no problem at all, and you should probably be doing that. That's what I personally believe anyway. ICX got a lot of requests for this one. Currently making a very clear descending wedge. On the breakout of this wedge, my personal target will be sitting at 30,000 Satoshis. 31,000. At this point, there's no indication of this wedge breaking. Let us check the on-balance volume and the RSI. Okay, so far, the RSI made a new low together with the price. On-balance volume also made a new low together with the price. When I look at descending wedges, there's only one thing I'm looking for, which is divergence, which means the price is making a new low, but the RSI and the on-balance volume are not making a new low, but a higher low. At this point, this is like 100% the indication that the descending wedge is at its end. That's when you should buy. But at this moment, this is sadly not the case. Although one can say that this is only slightly lower, while the price is like significantly lower, but it doesn't officially count. So this will be a good trade. Just wait for it to break out of the wedge, get your position, and ride it all the way up to 31,000. I'm putting conservative targets because I do not know if the bear market is really at its end, and there's no reason to, be risky. Do I mostly day trade or hodl? Let me put it this way: about 70% of all my capital is stored away in cold storage, and I mean like super mega cold storage, and I can only get it if I spend the whole day getting it cold storage. The other 30%, I use it for swing trading, scalping, and then maybe 10% of that for BitMEX. I don't use a lot of money for margin trading and all that. It's mostly for trading alts and of course cold storage. But it's important to trade, because I have been able to add a lot of money to my cold storage by trading. For example, EOS is something that I made like very good money on by trading it. You know, this was only maybe a 4-month trade, and I put like 80% of the profits back into cold storage. And that's what I use the trading for. I just use it as fuel to keep adding to my cold storage. Yes, I do still believe alt season can happen on August. In fact, I believe, you know, even though we are in a bear market, right now is the most important time. Reason being, if we go to any alt, ETH, Ethereum, let's pair against USD for a better view. You can see it's at a low, you know. If we go to Neo and Neo USD on Bitfinex, you know, you see it's at a low. Everybody thinks profits are made here, you know. This is false. It's not true. It's a lie. Profits are made here and here. This is where you get the profits. This is where you make the profits, okay? It's very important to understand that and to build your long-term portfolio right now, because we are in a good bear market. This is the opportunity everyone has been asking for, but now they're not happy with it, you know? So when Bitcoin went to like 20K here, everybody was crying because they couldn't buy cheaper. Well, now you have the opportunity to buy cheap, to buy at 6,000 and sell at 23,000 or possibly even 30,000. You know, so that's very important to understand, and that is why right now is the most important time. Next, I'd like to take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin is actually in my buy zone a while ago when we were not here yet. Like, I think the price was sitting at 120. I've drawn a buy zone here. It's pretty wide. It's from 41 to 83. But as long as Litecoin stays in this zone, every week I will buy some, you know? And that's the way to get the best average, because I don't know if it's going to 74 or 57, you know, or 45. Nobody knows. That's why if you buy every week in this buy zone, you just wait for the price to, you know, recover out of the buy zone, and then we can set the new target at 520 for the next bull run. So this is really like a long-term trade, something that might even take a year or maybe 2 years to complete, but it doesn't matter because we will have like 20x, 10x, 20x. And let me see if I've drawn that right. No, it should be higher. 556. So this is my target for the next bull run. Reason my target is so high, if we go to CoinMarketCap and we go to the news, Coinbase, it's not directly related, but Coinbase can now actually list securities. This does tell us, in short, that exchanges, Coinbase, everything is preparing to get institutional investors on board, okay? What are those institutional investors going to buy? They're going to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash. Hopefully not, but probably they will. EOS, Litecoin, you know, they're not going to buy, I don't know, Gifto or Wakiyaki chain or whatever. They're going to buy Bitcoins. And that's why I believe that any coin that is currently in the top 10, you know, except maybe one or two, will go at least 10x, 20x, 30x, 50x over the next 3 to 5 years. And Litecoin is actually one of those. For trade token, it doesn't matter. Currently the price, remove everything. Price is currently sitting at 5100 Satoshis. and my actual target for this. And I kid you not, I'm a very serious man. My target for this is sitting at, at least, and just to put this into perspective, at least here, 280,000 Satoshis. And in fact, I'm actually looking for a 10x. So it's, it should be sitting at 55,000 Satoshis. So it doesn't matter if you buy here or here or here or here. If you just buy this, put it in cold storage. And I think in the end, it will look like this. So yeah. Why is Trade Token special? A couple of reasons. The founders are bankers from Switzerland. They have a lot of experience. They are creating a very, very good product. Their marketing is some of the best marketing I have ever seen in crypto. This is like professional retail banking level marketing. And, for those reasons alone, it should like 50x, 100x. But also they are in the process of trying to get a Swiss banking license. If this happens, the sky's the limit. So that's why I'm so fond of this. I suggest you go over the website, check out some videos, check out their Twitter, read the white paper, and just judge for yourself. Okay, because the reason that you buy something shouldn't be because you're watching DaytradeJeffrey and he is saying like trade token is good. And the reason you should be buying something is because, I tell it it's good. You do your own research, and if you think it's good, then you should buy it. So yeah, that's it for today. Don't forget that we have a launch party tonight at, shouldn't be, let me check the exact time. I thought it was 6. Yes, 6. Make sure to join it so we can discuss the market and everything together. This is like a super important time, so you don't want to be missing out. And furthermore, in 2 days, I will be doing the next live stream because tomorrow it's Corp's turn. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to, to subscribe. Would really help me a lot. I would appreciate it. And I'd like to thank you for watching.